Hi, thank you for joining me in this episode of GradSWE UCLA presents Women in Science, We Have the Power to Change the World. My name is Yifan Gao, a PhD candidate from Civil and Environmental Engineering Department at UCLA. I'm also the International Student Event Officer at GradSWE UCLA. GradSWE stands for the Graduate Student Community of Society of Women Engineers. Our goal is to provide support to graduate students and help them shine in their future career. We are going to host a series of interviews to female scientists, and we hope we can encourage more women to join the community of STEM. Our guest today is Dr. Wensi Chen. She's an incoming assistant professor from Civil and Environmental Engineering Department at Texas A&M University. Her research areas include smart hydrogels for virus detection and environmental health sensing, electrified membrane technique for water reuse and resource recovery, and advanced porous absorbent design for water purification. If you are interested in her research and her lab, feel free to contact her. Hi, Wensi. Thank you so much for being my guest and joining our channel.
Hi, Yifan. Good to see you. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, could you briefly introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen so we can see my slides. Okay. Does it work now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, hi everyone. Very happy to have this opportunity. And I'm Wensi Chen. I'm currently a postdoc at Yale University, and my research is about advanced materials for water, energy, and health technologies. So here is a little bit brief introduction about myself. So I was born in a small town in southeast of China. It's called Wenzhou, and my hometown is famous for mountains and sashimi. And then I went to Tsinghua University in Beijing to study chemistry. And after that, I went to Georgia Tech for my PhD study, and my major was in environmental engineering. So I graduated in 2022 and moved from Atlanta to New Haven for my postdoc work. And then I'm excited to share that I will be joining Texas A&M Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering to start my assistant professor position in January 2024. So then I'd like to introduce a little bit about my previous research. So my PhD research is about development of the porous superabsorbent polymer beads for facade separation. So the porous SAP, or we call it PSAP, are the polymers with the hydrophilic cross-linked network. So these polymers, it can absorb and retain a large amount of the water. And meanwhile, because of the well-designed pore size, pore structure inside, so the PSAP polymers are able to separate the components in the water based on the size separation. So basically, the small targets can enter inside the beads through the pore channels, but the large components are going to be rejected. So with these materials, we are able to realize a very simple and also flexible separation solutions, and it can be applied for a lot of applications. So one application I want to share today is that use this material for the virus sampling. So as we know, during the COVID outbreak, the wastewater surveillance technique has been developed to monitor the progress of the pandemic. But one challenge for this surveillance is that how to preserve the wastewater samples. We know that the virus are easily degraded in the wastewater because of the fragile RNA or DNA structures. And then it will require the very high cost refrigeration method to preserve the sample and make sure the virus are able to be detected at the lab. So our PSAP materials, it can enable a very simple and also low cost virus sample storage method. Basically, we can apply these polymer materials to the wastewater. Therefore, the polymer beads are able to absorb the virus, meanwhile to exclude other undesired components. And then the virus is going to be able to immobilize on the inside pore structure of the polymer, and therefore they are stabilized for long-term storage at the room temperature. And we call this technique virus check. So with the virus check technique, we are able to realize a low cost and also flexible virus sampling method. So they are able to combine with the wastewater epidemiology and contribute to establish a large scale virus surveillance network. And after the PhD study, I actually when I started my postdoc, I want to try the different fields. So that's why I'm doing totally different research. So what I'm currently doing now is electrified water treatment technique for the groundwater remediation. So for this postdoc research, we are willing to develop a treatment method that's gonna be for point of use and off-grid water treatment, the compact small systems. So the pollutant we are target is 1,4-dioxane. So 1,4-dioxane is a common contaminant in the water and also groundwater supplies. So this is a survey for the detected 1,4-dioxane in the US. So you can see in the New England areas, the 1,4-dioxane concentration in the groundwater are like 100 times more than the suggested levels. And we know that the advanced oxidation technique is a convenient way or is an effective way to degrade it and remove the 1,4-dioxane. But meanwhile, since we are targeting the household or the small scale, the off-grid water treatment, so we cannot expect everyone gonna be like using strong oxidants at home and treat the water by yourself. So we need more convenient solutions. And in my research, we are currently developing the electrified or electrochemical technique for the 1,4-dioxane treatment. Basically, we are developing the anode materials, so we are able to generate reactive species at the electrode surface. So these reactive species can directly oxidize and destruct the 1,4-dioxane, and they are able to mineralize the 1,4-dioxane into the carbon dioxide, so we can have the purified water out. So move on to my future research. As we know that the water scarcity is still a big challenge, and the population growth and also the climate change brings more challenges or the sustainability issues to the water resource management. So in my research, I envision that the fit-for-purpose materials and the process is going to be the future direction to address the inefficiencies and also the high energy cost in the water treatment and reuse. So my future research group, we aim to combine the material design, the theoretical, the simulation, and also the process optimization for the water purification and the resource recovery. Meanwhile, we also want to monitor the health risks in the water. So here are the two main directions we want to start with in my future research group. So the first direction is the smart hydros for the virus detection. So we know that the continuous outbreak of the virus diseases is a big challenge to the public health. And continuing my previous efforts in the virus detection, we aim to develop the smart hydros incorporated with the specific virus receptors. So we are able to use this hydro platform to capture or to enrich the specific viruses, and we are able to detect them at the low concentration level. And this hydro platform can be combined with the advanced sensing technique, so we are able to achieve the real-time and on-site detection of the viruses and also the health risk assessment in the future. And another directions we want to develop is the electrified membrane technique for the resource recovery. So we know that membrane technique is a well-established method for the water separation or purification. But for some application scenarios, only separation is not enough. So here we taking nitrate as an example. We know that the nitrate is a common pollutant in the groundwater, but meanwhile, the nitrogen is one of the major nutrient elements for the plant growth and for the agriculture. So how we can separate the nitrate from the water, because it's a contaminant, we need to remove it. But meanwhile, how can we convert it into the useful resources that we can take for the agriculture? So we think that the electrified membrane technique is going to be a promising solution. So we can combine the membrane separation and also electrochemical reactions together. So we're able to separate or remove the nitrate contaminant from the groundwater. And meanwhile, we can convert it into the useful, for example, ammonia or urea fertilizers. So that can be applied for the agricultural applications. So that's a little bit about my future research directions. And also I would like to take this opportunity to advertise my research group at AN a little bit. So if you are interested for applying for either graduate schools, either for master or PhD students, and welcome to contact me. So here is my email and also my website. So you can look at my previous publications and my future research group introductions. So that's it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll definitely put your website link and your information to the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
and then
you.
Because right now our quarter is gonna start, we are like quarter, not semester. So I'm gonna put like advertise. I hope like some UCL students will love to like join your group. That would be awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. So from your background introduction, I found out you switched from chemistry to environmental engineering. I know like chemistry is a really fundamental like major that can be applied to different fields. Like why you got interested in environmental engineering?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And I think I can share a little bit about my story.
Yeah.
So when I choose my major in chemistry, I didn't think too much about like the what I want to do in the future. So I started doing some undergrad research at the end of my second year, and at that summer I joined a nanomaterial synthesis lab. And at that time, my research project is to using the hydrothermal method to synthesize the nanomaterials with certain morphology. So my daily routine at that time was like I prepare the precursor solutions and then I add the precursor into an autoclave, so a reactor, and then I cook it. So after cooking, so I collect the nanomaterial samples and I do some calculation like SEM, TM to analyze the morphology of the nanomaterials. So that's my daily routine for the whole summer undergraduate research. And after repeating this routine for 3 months, I realized this is not for me. So this is not my interest.
Yeah.
And at that time, I talked to my the PhD student mentor me for the research, and I discussed a lot about my interest with him. That what I want to do is actually what I think that my interest is going to be at that time is I want to do some applications. So I need to see that my research, how the products I make can be applied to the real world challenges, how it can solve the problems in our daily life. So then I think chemistry may be too fundamental for me. So we know that there is a big gap between the fundamental research and also the kind of the problems that you're gonna meet in the society.
Yeah.
So then I jump out of the College of Science and I think maybe I need to do some engineering. So at that time, I kind of doing a department shop. So I searched a lot of the groups, research groups related to chemistry, but gonna be more focused on the engineering, on the applications.
Wow.
So I reached out to some professors in material science and also environmental engineering. And at that time, I met my undergrad mentor, and I think that was like 2015. So at that time, she joined the School of Environment at Tsinghua at a very like maybe her second year.
Yeah.
So her research group was focused on the electrochemistry for the groundwater remediation. That's what I'm doing now for my postdoc. So it's kind of like circle.
Okay, circle, yeah.
Yeah. So and I think that the talk between me and her that really inspired me that what kind of the thing we do in the lab can be applied to the real world. So at that time, her lab, she's not only doing the lab research, but also have some pilot study and connection with the water treatment plant. So I really can see how like product developed in the lab can be featured into a prototype and then can be used for the pilot testing. So that's really aligned with my interests. And that's kind of like the start for my environmental engineering career. And later on, after I graduate from my bachelor, and then I apply for the graduate school in the environmental engineering and study the PhD in environmental engineering. And then currently I am, and I will continue that in my future career.
Yeah, that's super cool because I know for me, I was in environmental engineering for my whole life, not whole life, like for 7 years. Yeah, I never, in those field like chemistry fundamental study, I guess because I'm in the engineering field for a really long time, I'm really like attracted by the fundamental research. And then when I saw your profile, you switch from chemistry to environmental engineering, I felt like, okay, why? So that got me really curious about it. And I totally understand because engineering major is like you can see the real application in life, especially in the environmental engineering, wastewater treatment plants, pilot study, field study. We can see the real applications in the real world, right? Yeah.
I think for fundamental science, sometimes the research questions, they are very far away from your daily life. For
Yeah.
example, how you're gonna see the nanomaterials, why it's in this shape, why it's in that shape.
Yeah.
Like they kind of like I know that those fundamental research, they are very interesting, and they are like a lot of people like taking a lot of efforts to develop the method and also to see like what's happening in the micro or nano like world. But meanwhile, for myself, that it's kind of like time I need to when you either you apply for the graduate school or you think about your future career, that I think the interest is gonna be your major motivation to choose your career pathway. And I find for myself that fundamental research is interesting, but I really want to do engineering. I really want to do applications.
Yeah, so that's why I guess that's why you selected those 3 directions in your future lab. It's about applications like virus detection, water remediation, and design of the material. I think like combine fundamental and applications, right? Like why you
Yes.
selected those 3 directions.
I think these 3 directions are kind of just a framework of my future research. But it's not. Don't want to limit myself into that 3. So I may share a little bit like story, like how I consider for my future research direction. So I think this also this is a question that I have been thinking during my PhD and postdoc, and I guess it's also the question for a lot of researchers want to start their independent career. So what we want to do in the future. So some of my considerations are like, first, I want to establish my own brand. I want to establish my own lab. It's going to be different from all other labs in the world. So then I need to differentiate myself from my PhD advisors, from my postdoc advisors. I really want to try new directions and try new things. But meanwhile, trying new things, it doesn't mean that you're gonna cut off your past.
Yeah.
So you still need to think what you are good at. So that kind of like the kind of I need to link the current me, the past me, and my future.
Yeah.
So and also, as I said, that my motivation is I really want to solve the problems in the world. I really want to see that my research, my project can be applied to the real world application scenarios. So that's why I also need to consider the important research questions or challenges in the field of the environmental engineering, also of the field of the for example, like the more specifically like my expertise in the water treatments. So considering all these things and also considering my background, so I have done research in the polymer or material design, and I have done research in electrochemistry, And meanwhile, my interest is about water treatment and reuse. So combining all my background, my expertise, and my interests, that's why I considering to doing these three main directions, like the virus detection uses smart hydros, the electrified membrane for water treatment and resource recovery, and also the emergent contaminants like the PFAS remediations. But these are like the general frameworks. I think the future work, more specific project is still going to be depend on the interest of not only me, but also my team members, my students.
Yeah, I guess that is like three umbrellas, and your students will have the freedom to, I won't say choose their direction, but you're gonna combine their interests with your interests, and also like where the money coming from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
okay,
so.
yeah, I totally understand. So that gave me the question for assistant professor, because you are building up your team, you're incoming assistant professor for next year. So I want to know like how what are you doing to prepare for your lab and for your next position?
Yeah, I think faculty position is a very, very exciting start, and it's gonna be very different from the PhD study or the postdoc work. So being a faculty is like running a small business. So you are not only considering yourself. So for example, for my PhD or postdoc, I may have some collaborations with other team members, but the most of the time I still spend on my own research project. But being a faculty, I think the major change is I need to think in a like team mind. So for now, when I preparing for my new position, so I kind of like nowadays I'm mainly doing something like more like a manager. So so for example, now I'm like setting up my lab, and it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. So for example, I need to consider about the lab renovation. So you need to currently I was assigned for a teaching lab. So it will not like align or like fit for all my purpose for the research. So I need to do some construction work, and meanwhile I need to think about my equipment. So what I'm gonna buy, use my limited budget, and also that's kind of for the lab things, because I'm kind of the most of research is done in the lab. So the lab is very important starting for me. And meanwhile, the another important part is the students. So being a faculty or being like assistant professors, you are gonna think about how you gonna start your work together with your students. So the first things is you need to find the students, recruit the students that your interest and their interest are gonna align to each other's. So that's also kind of the part I spend like a lot of time for my preparation. And the third thing is that I think because I kind of still have some time to prepare for the position, so I still have some time to think about like the future projects, and I really want to like take advantage of this like kind of gap time to write something down and think about my future proposals, so how I can bring the new money into the group.
Yeah, also we need some rest. You just finished like a cruel job searching, to get a
Yeah.
position. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So basically you are doing something like a constructor, like a contractor to like
It's kind of like a manager of everything.
the manager of everything, and to even set up for the lab. And I remember you told me order like a bench table or like chairs for your
Yes,
lab,
yes, yes.
and also like recruit students. Texas A&M is a really great university, especially in the environmental engineering field. I guess you won't need to worry about that much for students, right? Yeah. So, because right now I'm also the international student event officer at GradSWE, Graduate Student Society of Women Engineers at UCLA chapter. So I'm gonna ask a few questions about our organization. So, as a female scientist, so what challenges have you met in the way that you make these big decisions, like studying abroad or trying to switch majors, etc.? Yeah.
I think some challenges are like for all the students or all the like PhDs. But as a female student, as a female scientist, like there are going to be some like very like unique challenges we're gonna meet. So I think the one biggest challenge I like kind of have like during my study is that sometimes like I feel that the you're gonna have a feeling that you are really alone,
Yeah.
like kind of I'm thinking that maybe that for the college of engineering, that the community support for the female students and also researchers are still not enough. So sometimes we don't have the community, we can share the problems, we can share the thoughts, and then this kind of a lonely feeling will be really like challenging, like when you are students, especially when you're students, because at that time you may want to seek the help, but you find that there no one help you can with those like kind of troubles or difficulties. And also that because I was in the job market the last year, so and I also have some kind of like very I don't know, like unique stories to share.
Yeah.
So my partner is also in academia and he's also looking for faculty positions last year together with me. So, and then at that time that we have some like kind of like the double hire issues.
Yeah, it's
So,
really
you
difficult.
know that
Yeah.
for I think that this shouldn't be a question, but sometimes there are question existing there that people are gonna expect the females or the women to spend more time in the family and to balance the family and the work. But I think those kind of like expectations from the society sometimes may be like extra pressures on the female scientists.
Yeah, it's right.
And so during my time for the job search, so I actually communicate a lot with my partner that how we gonna kind of make our decision for our careers. So and the conclusions after rounds and rounds of like conversations is
Yeah.
that it kind of like helped me to clear my thoughts that what my priority is. And then my priority is that I need to think about my future career choice. And that's going to be that what I'm going to spend in the next like 20, 30, 50 years. So, so at that time, actually at that time, my partner got a job offer in the Europe. So it's far away from
That's
US.
really, yeah,
And
two different time
so
zone. Yeah.
it's very challenging for both of us. And actually that job offer is kind of like his dream offers.
Yeah.
So so but meanwhile, I don't want to sacrifice myself and went to a country I've never been to.
Yeah, I
So
totally understand. Yeah.
so kind of like a lot of conversations in this is that I think I have a lot of support from my partner that he totally supported me to choose my career and to kind of like take my priority as his priority too.
Yeah.
So that kind of not only like the kind of like advice from this story is that sometimes there is actually no balance. You cannot balance everything and there's no best options. Sometimes you need to really like follow your heart to think what's your priority is, and then after that just go for it.
Yeah, because double hiring, I think a lot of university they advertise for that, but it's still a really hard situation. I know you guys are not in the same major. I think for like same department is even harder because they don't want us to have like two faculties in the same department and even like doing the same research directions. And then I guess like we need to find, I know there's no balance, but we need to find a mutual point in like in the
And
career path for the whole family. Yeah,
yeah,
that's super hard. And I'm really happy that you guys both got faculty position, Texas A&M is I think it's the best. You're in the best university and then both faculty. So it's really great. Yeah.
thank you. I think we are lucky like this year. Yeah, but sometimes there's really no like
Yeah.
balance. There's really no options for like kind of best family choices. And at that time, I think that what we can do as a female scientist or like as a female researcher is that think about what you really want and then secure your priority option.
Yes, yes. I also don't like the concept that female has to sacrifice or spend more time to the family because we are both female scientists. The whole community doesn't have enough female scientists. We need to step out and then just to make sure we are working on our priority career or whatever priority in our life. Yeah, I totally agree with you and thank you for sharing this story because I know there will be a lot of female scientists or future female scholars, they are thinking about, oh, can we reach double hair, or what should I do for my family or balance my career? I think that's a really good story for them as a reference, for their future career. Yeah. Another question is, do you have any female role models in your life that support you for your whole career?
I think my answer is yes and no. So I don't have a specific female role models because we know like everyone gonna have your own like the path.
Yeah.
So there's no way you can follow and you can make sure you will succeed in the end.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, I also have a lot of female role models in my life. I learn a lot from my mom, from my mentors, and even from my peers and my mentees. They're all my role models. So maybe I can share a little bit about some personal stories.
Yeah.
So actually, like my both of my parents, they are running small businesses, so they didn't attend the college, and I'm the first generation college graduates in my family, and of course the first generation PhD.
Wow.
So
yeah, it's you're amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
actually my mom is the oldest sister in her family.
Yeah.
So she started to work at very young age to support the whole family and also to help to raise her siblings. So the one kind of like the thing I learned a lot from my mom is that she always like happy to she always like open to new things, and she's always willing to learn the new things. Like even she quit from the school at very young age, but like she still like very encouraging me to study like abroad, to continue my PhD, and also to stay in academia, to seek a career in academia. So my mom actually supported me a lot, and kind of like her like sacrificing is kind of the key to help me to like reach the position or reach the stage what currently I am now. And also another story I want to share is from my mentor at Georgia Tech. So Professor Jinhua Huang is my mentor, and I think I learned a lot from her. So actually, like some kind of work-life balance or work-family balance lessons are like the things I learned from her a lot. So one story she shared with me is that I think it's like during her maybe like the time of the like before the tenure, like when she was still a assistant professors, and she had the kids. So like kids gonna bring totally change your life and bring a lot of like extra things to your daily routines.
Yeah.
And she shared with me that at that time, because she had some pressure from the tenure, and she need to take care of the whole like the group's research and also need to do the teaching. So kind of the thing like she do is that every night when she like brought her kids to the bed, and after they fall into sleep maybe at 8 or 9, and then she gonna wake up at the midnight and restart her research work. So
Wow.
it's kind of like totally shock to me that that like how she balanced her role as a like a researcher and also a role as a like a mom of a newborn.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes like if you are like reach out to some female scientists, they have a lot of story to share with you how they survive from their early careers, and how they kind of like uh, secure their family ties, meanwhile do amazing research.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's real. So my master advisor in Berkeley, Lisa, Professor Lisa Cohen, they told me she wrote a book, and then the first chapter or the first page is this book is for my children's who have really long sleep, really long naps, so I can write the book. So I guess probably it's true. I thought it's just a rumor because I never read a book, but yeah. So I know it's like really hard for professors to balance their family time, their kids, and their working, because I know as a faculty, there's like a lot of working time and it's a provider for the whole group. So I guess in the future, you're gonna face the same situation, but you have already learned from the past. So yeah, I guess, yeah.
I think I really learned a lot, and I have like a lot of experience shared by my mentors and also my friends.
Yeah, that's amazing. I guess that's why I wanted to start this platform is I want to bring different voices, different experience to the platform, and people can learn from it, and they will know, oh, it's not really scary. So we can definitely have the same life, have their dream life, because I know a lot of people they're thinking about like having kids during their assistant professor time, but sometimes it's really scary. Yeah.
It is. I don't have kids yet, but I
Yeah.
think that having kids will totally change the life.
Oh, they
So
are.
it will be like a lot of work and also like kind of a new chapter of the life probably.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Also, your mom's support is the role model from your daily life is also really important. Yeah. So is my last question is, do you have any advice that you would like to give women that are thinking about or currently pursuing STEM majors?
I think that my advice may just
Yeah.
be my advice. It may not be very helpful, but I want to share some of my like tips. The first thing is that considering my own past, that sometimes I think the most important thing is to really spend some time think about what your interests are, what your motivation are when you like choose your major, choose your doing graduate school or not, or choose your career. And I like to say, like, sometimes people may say that that's an easy way. There's an easy way you can choose. Why not just go for that way? But a lot of experience like kind of like told me or inspired me that there's not a easy way. So sometimes you need to like work your own ways, and then it may not be difficult, but after you like spend time on that, you establish yourself, and then you will feel like it's rewarding. And the second thing is that I like to say, when you feel like something is not that into you, it's always not late to change.
Yeah.
That you may start from like kind of major in your undergrad, but later on you may find that it's not fit into your interest. It's very common, and you can always change. So you don't need to think about like the time you spend in your like past. So always, it will not be late to change now than later.
Yeah, definitely.
And also another thing is that I share a little bit like as a female scientist, as a female like student, a lot of times we may feel we are alone. And this kind of alone feeling sometimes really hurts. And so my advice here is that we know that nowadays that the community for the female researchers or engineers are growing very rapidly. And I like to say that for the young girls students, don't be afraid to seek help. And I know not only myself, but also a lot of people like in the community, they are willing to help. And if you seek help, then they will be there for you. But if you don't reach out, then those resources you can never like kind of like obtain. And then you will never have like the people have the experience in the trouble or in the challenge you have can help you to go out of that box.
Yeah. Like our organization, we are Society of Women Engineers. don't hesitate to reach for help or check our website, watch my YouTube videos. They will gain a lot of help
Yeah.
from different
I
professors.
think such a YouTube channels can provide like more like voices from the field, can pass through those voices to the like younger generations. And then it's gonna be like a kind of resource. You will not only learn from other people, you can kind of like feel a like invisible support from the community.
People will find out there's a lot of professors that they thought is really far away. We cannot talk to professor, they're too serious. But they will find out, like you, like other female professors, they're really, people person, and they can talk, they can seek for your help. So I think it's really good. So I really love like your suggestions about reaching for help is really great. Yeah.
And I think that actually, I myself also benefit from it. That sometimes you may feel that maybe someone you don't know in the community, they maybe are very like well-established professors. Then kind of like even for me, sometimes I'm afraid to reaching out. But once I like email them, I reach out, then I find they're really willing to help. They're really willing to share their experience, sharing their advices for you.
Yeah, I totally agree. And thank you so much for your amazing research directions and all the good advice to the audience. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Yifan. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to have these opportunities. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me for today's episode of Women in Science. We have the power to change the world. Please hit the subscribe button and follow us to hear more stories from female scientists.